Hello everyone, my name is Varun Mitra and welcome to the video. In this particular lesson, we are going to talk about using the design to web approach. After completing this training, you should be able to use design to web. These are some of the key concepts that we will cover during the course of today's session. A lot of times your UI developers would have provided you with a wireframe for your website. These wireframes are developed using Adobe Photoshop and the resulting output is in the form of a PSD file. Usually, it is not very easy to convert this PSD file into the corresponding design elements. With Brackets IDE, you can easily convert PSD files into the required CSS code. During the course of today's session, we will see how you can convert PSD file into corresponding CSS code using the Brackets IDE. So let's just quickly do a hands-on and enable Preview Brackets extension. So this is my Brackets IDE and I have imported my company training project in here. What I will do next is I will enable the Preview Brackets extension. I will go to the extension manager and I will simply look up for the Preview Brackets extension right over here. You can just look for Extract for Brackets Preview. If it is not already installed at your end, you can click on this install button and this will install this particular extension within your Brackets IDE. Once this extension is installed, you will see this particular icon on your right hand side. This is the icon which will display to you the extracts for bracket preview. So that is what we are going to do next. We are going to use this extension for importing a particular PSD file. We have enabled preview for brackets extension. Now let's just import a PSD file into a brackets IDE. This is my brackets IDE. I can click on this icon right over here which will launch this extract extension. You will see that it will automatically try to connect to my Creative Cloud. And you can see different PSD files which I have earlier imported present right over here. What I can do is I can simply drag and drop a PSD file in here and that would be imported within my brackets IDE. So let me quickly go to my desktop and import or drag and drop this PSD file right over here. This about.psd is also available to you in the downloaded resources. You can import this PSD file or you can import any PSD file that is present on your system. If I were to click this, I would be able to see this particular PSD file. As you can see, this PSD file looks very much like a website design. The next thing that I will do is I will generate some CSS code out of this particular PSD file. So we have imported a PSD file into brackets. Now let's just go ahead and convert this PSD file into the corresponding CSS file. I will go back to my brackets IDE. Here is my PSD file. What I will do is I will go to JCR root and I'm going to go to my company project. I will go to etc client libs company, default libs which is a client library, and I will go to the styles folder which contains my stylesheet.css. I will create a new CSS file over here. I'm going to simply call it design to web.css. You can choose to call it whatever you want. And now I will convert each and every design element that is present within this PSD file into its corresponding CSS code. Let me start off with this particular display text. I'm going to generate some CSS code that will help me in displaying some similar text on my web page. So I'm going to create a CSS class. Let me call it display text. And now if I was to press Ctrl and space keys together, I would be able to get some source suggestion. I can directly apply some styling right over here, or I would directly generate some styling elements from this particular display text. Furthermore, I can also convert this display text into an image and I can directly put it right over here. This display.png would be accordingly displayed on my web page. As you see, as soon as I generated this display.png, an images folder was created underneath my styles directory and this will contain this display.png file. If I want, I can also convert this Twitter icon into its necessary design elements. Let me quickly go ahead and select this. Now I can simply write another CSS class called as Twitter icon and I can convert this Twitter icon into its corresponding style. I can specify the background URL. I can specify some more styling like bottom. I can specify the height. I can specify the left position. I can specify the right position. I can also specify the position from top and I can also specify the width. So this will allow me to display this Twitter icon perfectly on my web page. If I want, I can also display this particular D icon right over here. I can call it display icon, and I can simply generate some CSS code for it. I can specify the background URL. I can specify the background color. Furthermore, I can also specify the bottom. I can specify height. I can specify the position from left and also the position from right. I can display all of this information. If I want, I can also skip some information. I can simply not choose to generate the CSS or not choose to make use of the CSS that has been generated. So that is how you can convert your web page into corresponding CSS design. I can continue doing this, and I can go ahead and generate CSS code for each and every element that is present on this page. So that is how you can convert a PSD file into its corresponding CSS. Your web developers can directly go ahead and do that. They can create a design using Photoshop, and then they can generate the necessary CSS code using this particular brackets extension. So we have converted a PSD file into the corresponding CSS file. So now you should be able to use Design to Web. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a great day.